High up in the San Gabriel Mountains, snow falls, blanketing the earth. As the snow melts, rivulets of water trickle down Aliso Canyon, a narrow gash in the mountain, to form the Santa Clara River just above Acton. Trickling out of the rugged hills north of Los Angeles, Southern California's longest and wildest river travels 100 miles toward the setting sun, draining an area nearly the size of Delaware before rushing into the Pacific Ocean just north of Oxnard. We're looking down on Aliso Creek, and beside it is the Blum Ranch. The Blum family has raised pear and honey for the last 100 years, using the water that comes off of the Angeles National Forest and flows into the Santa Clara River. Hello, my name is Philip Scorza, and I would like to welcome you to our program, Points of Interest. Behind me is Aliso Canyon. Aliso Creek is the headwater of the Santa Clara River. What we're going to do today is take a ride along the river through Soledad Canyon, show you some of the sights, and tell you the story of the river that gave our town its name. Rivulets from springs and runoff trickle down the canyon to form the river just east of Acton. In places, the river is anywhere from 50 feet to a mile wide. The diarist for the first Spanish exploring party named the Santa Clara River for the patron saint of sore eyes. He exulted in its rich stand of trees, wild grapes, and herbs. Today, the river still boasts the region's largest, best preserved stands of riparian woodlands and nurtures at least 5 federally endangered species, 3 birds, a fish, and a plant. I'd like to introduce our co-hostess and driver and camera operator, Denise Scorza.
Hi there.
Hello. And here's Casey Scorza. Hello, Casey.
Go away.
Thank you, Casey. At one time, rails followed the shore of the Santa Clara River from Acton to the city of Ventura. The old Southern Pacific line comes down from Tehachapi to join the river right where it begins at Aliso Canyon. At one time, there were stations at Acton, Lang, Saugus, and Newhall. Today, the rails are used for a number of Southern Pacific freight trains, as well as 3 commuter runs between Lancaster and downtown LA. What we're going to try to do now is a little relief map study. If I can find it here. This is Aliso Canyon. Water runs off the San Gabriel Mountains, Angeles National Forest. And here's the town of Acton. This is all of the Soledad Canyon. Till we get to the city of Santa Clarita. Castaic Junction. And now we head west. All the way up here, Fillmore is right over here. And here is the city of Santa Paula. I think that's the city of Santa Paula. Yes, that is the city of Santa Paula. We're gonna let Casey drive. All along here, this is the Soledad Canyon to the city of Santa Clarita right there. Out this way to Santa Paula. So we're gonna let Casey drive. You drive. Go ahead. Traversing the mountain roads, winding his way down the path, and now he's off the map. From the diary of Father Juan Crespi, August 11, 1769. This is a very grand and excellent spot for a very large, plenteous mission. There is a great deal of very good, grassy, level soil. 2 large springs of running water, each of them giving rise to a stream, join the one that has been following us these last 2 days. They turn into a river for some leagues down the hollow. And so this spot has 2 streams and a river and a great deal of trees. Once past Acton, the river winds its way into Soledad Canyon. Soledad Canyon is a very narrow canyon, and the river winds and twists and turns. The railroad tracks follow the river. Also in the canyon are at least 6 RV parks. This is a place where city dwellers can move to. They take their RVs, they park them out there permanently, I guess, and they live in them. Some of them are very nice. They have golf courses, swimming pools. Also, an interesting place you would find in Soledad Canyon is the Shambhala Preserve, which is right behind me. This is a place run by Tippi Hedren, and she has wild animals there, including a couple of elephants. Anyway, let's drive down the road and see what's up ahead, shall we? That little green belt down there is the river as it looks today. It is dry most of the year for much of its length, but when winter rains hit it, it can be transformed into an angry welter capable of tossing mature trees like toothpicks. It is said that President Herbert Hoover once fished for trout in this river. I don't know what kind of luck he had, but to this day, no one catches any trout. He's a chip off the old block. Prior to the turn of the century, there was a great deal of mining activity in the Soledad Canyon. Here are remnants of a couple of old mines that can be seen from the river's edge. Once out of Soledad Canyon, the river widens into a loose braid of small streams. The pits and piles of a gravel mine mar the wash near the site of Lang Station. That's where John Lang established a ranch and railway station in the 1870s. That's also where the Golden Spike was driven, completing the rail line linking Los Angeles with San Francisco. We're sitting right by Lang Station. In 1876, the Southern Pacific Railroad had a little ceremony here. They drove the Golden Spike. The rails between San Francisco and LA were joined at this point, right here next to the Santa Clara River. Anyway, we've exited the Soledad Canyon, and now we're coming into civilization, I guess you would say. We're coming into canyon country, the city of Santa Clarita. And from here, we're going to show you what the city's done with the river in the way of bike paths and recreation. The river affects our daily lives whether we realize it or not. For instance, Soledad Canyon Road follows the river's winding course from the east side of town to the west side of town. And how many times are we forced to travel that circuitous route to get from one place to another? The railroad, when it was built in the 1870s, followed the path of least resistance. That meant the river's edge. How many times are we asked to wait for a train to get out of our way? The Santa Clara River and its South Fork bisects our city in numerous places, causing us to cross and recross it many times every day. This winding pathway, however, provides our city with a lot of opportunity for recreation. It gives us a green belt. This bike path that I'm standing on, which follows the South Fork of the river, is part of that plan. And here to tell us about the city and what it plans to do with the river is Mr. Rick Putnam from the City of Santa Clarita. Hi, Rick.
Hi, Phil. Nice to see you.
Thank you for joining us here. I was wondering, could you tell us, now this is just part of the system. How big is the system going to be when it's finished?
Ultimately, the backbone trail system of our city is about 20 miles, 20 plus miles. The South Fork branch that we're on right now will represent about 4 miles of that system once it's totally built out.
Okay.
We've got 2 sections of the trail system that's currently under construction. We just dedicated one section of that trail system from the Metrolink station on Soledad Canyon Road.
And that's called which?
That's called the Chuck Pontius Commuter Rail Trail.
Right.
And we dedicated this last Saturday.
Okay.
And when completed, that will be about 2 miles of trail system connecting with another 3 miles of trail system eastward to Sierra Highway. So we are soon to have about 8 miles of our trail system within capacity and use by the community by the start of the summer.
So you'll be able to ride, let's say, from Newhall, Valencia, all the way up to Saugus, up to Canyon Country, up to Magic Mountain, really, right?
Eventually, every section, every corner of this community will be connected by our trail system.
Because of the river, basically, right?
Basically, the river affords us that opportunity,
right.
Yes.
It gives you that linear pathway that you need to make it all connect.
Correct.
That's terrific.
Yeah.
Okay.
This river is a tremendous asset to this community, both recreationally and commercially.
Mm-hmm.
And our focus right now is on the recreational aspect. We've got several parks planned along the river that will join communities as well. So we've got an exciting program going right now.
That's great. What other, one of the things we mentioned earlier in the program was the fact that this is the last wild river in all of Southern California, and except for a very, very small portion, it's not been cemented in, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah. Now, does the city working towards the ends of keeping it as wild as it is now?
Yes, we are. We want to keep it in as natural a state as possible. Mm-hmm. We're working with local development to be able to accomplish that. We've got several projects on the board that we're working hand in hand with local development companies to ensure that the river stays in its natural state and is accessible to the community as well, because we see that as truly the resource of the community if they have access to it.
Right, and a lot of people, you don't know this, but I also work for the Hart High School District, and a lot of the students, I say, well, what do you think of the river? And they say, river? What river? They don't know there's a river here even.
Exactly, and that's part of our plan as well, and I think it's typical of what's known about the river throughout our community. And you can tell by looking around that many of the businesses and a lot of the uses of the river have turned their backs basically on the river, and they use that as their backside. Mm-hmm. Our philosophy, we'd like to turn that around. We'd like the river to serve as their front door and focus on the river and take advantage of the attributes that the river affords us.
I'm looking for that one restaurant where I can sit at the table and look out at the river still.
There you go. Actually, there are a couple around, but right now it looks best at night with the lights.
Okay, well, when we're off the air, you'll have to tell me where they are, because I haven't found them yet. Okay. So the bike path's going to be finished, what, do you say, by the end of this year, do you think? Or
certain sections of the bike path. The entire system probably will be done in 3 to 4 years.
Okay.
So the South Fork Trail is done now. We've got one leg that will connect directly to the Santa Clara River. That will be completed within the next 2 months. That'll be a nice addition to the system as well. And then the very next section, which we consider probably the most important section, will connect the east part of the city, Canyon Country area, to the Santa Clara River and the South Fork. And that will be from the Metrolink train station west to the South Fork.
Oh, so I see what you're saying. So that's the part that's missing right now.
That's the part, and that will be the key link. Right. That will be able to make the connection. So,
and will that be on the south side of the river, the north side of the river?
That'll be on the south side of the river.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So it'll be following Soledad Canyon
exactly.
Road then.
And it's planned to go underneath Valencia Boulevard, Bouquet Canyon Road.
Oh, really?
Across the bridge there, and then we'll travel further west and connect with the South Fork Trail just before McBean Parkway.
I noticed that you've gone behind, I guess it would be the businesses along Creekside there. Will you be going further west towards Magic Mountain also?
Eventually we will. We are working on a river enhancement plan, joint project between Ventura County and LA County. All of the municipalities between Santa Clarita and the ocean are working together with private industry as well. And the ultimate goal is to connect the mountains with the ocean.
Now, how about the old railroad right-of-way? That's still there as of now, but we both know that, with development and progress, these things have a way of disappearing. Is that going to be saved, do you think?
Well, we hope it will be. And our vision is that we'll be able to connect by rail various portions of Santa Clarita.
Heading west then?
Heading west and heading south. Newhall, we've got a tremendous opportunity in the old Newhall area with the revitalization program that's being conceived there. We'd like to connect that part of the community possibly with rail. We'd like to go out east to Canyon Country with rail as well. That would not supplant the trail system.
No, that would just be in addition to
the trail system.
Yeah, well, many of our scenic trails that we have across this country are there because old railroad right-of-ways have been abandoned and have been taken over for trail systems.
Right, that's correct.
So,
and we think that the best use is a joint use.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Well, unless there's something else that you need to tell us about, I'd like to thank you for coming out here. Have we missed anything?
You really haven't. I could probably speak for hours on this subject. I'm delighted to have the opportunity to help the community better understand this asset and what the river has to offer. And I look forward to completing our project and have all the residents of our community enjoy what we've got going.
Well, great. Thank you for being here. And the only thing I was wondering is, are we ever going to have fish in this river?
Possibly. There are fish further south. We'll try to get some.
I kept wanting my son to bring his fishing pole out on this little excursion of ours, but he kept saying, "There's no fish in that river. There's no fish in that river."
If you head further west, there are fish in the river.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for joining us.
Appreciate it very much. Thanks.
The Santa Clara River is the last wild river in all of Southern California. It's interesting to note that the LA River once looked like our river does today, before 1938, before floods, before urban encroachment. Let's hope that our river doesn't turn out to look like the LA River, one big cement ditch. Probably the greatest asset the city of Santa Clarita has is this river. It gives us recreation, it gives us a green belt, it gives us open spaces and woodlands. Anyway, we've had a really nice time traveling from Acton through the Soledad Canyon to the city of Santa Clarita along the beautiful Santa Clara River. Father Crespi was right. It is a beautiful sight for sore eyes. I'd like to thank Rick Putnam for joining us today on our program, and I'd like to thank you for watching. Until next time, this is Philip Scorza for Points of Interest.